In today's lesson, we are going to make carrot cakes. We're going to make mini ones. You could also make it in a square cake tin, but we are going to do it in a small cakes, so it will almost be like muffins. I'm first of all going to start with grating my carrots. I have kept the skin on because that would provide us with fiber, which is really good for our digestive system. Fiber helps our digestive system to be regular, prevents constipation, and therefore I have just washed it. I'm going to use a brown chopping board because that's what we use for vegetables that grows under the ground. I'm going to cut off the ends, holding my carrot really tightly so that it doesn't roll around. Got to get rid of that. And then I am going to grate it on the larger part of the grater. I'm going to hold the grater and the carrot on an angle. When you get to the last bit, you want to be careful not to grate your fingers. So that's one down. This is, like I've said, 200 grams of carrots. Last carrot. So obviously the grater has sharp ends to it. You just need to make sure that you keep your fingers well out of the way. And very carefully put your hand inside and just remove all the carrot that is left. So these are our carrots. It's going to go into our cakes. I am now going to zest the orange. So we're going to zest our orange, and for that we use our green chopping board. We always use green for our fruits. Going to use this side of the grater. Now what makes it quite easy to get the zest off is if you put a bit of cling film over the teeth of the grater. So put it over quite tight like that. And then you zest your orange. And what happens is the zest will come off really easily and it won't stick into the teeth because it can be a bit tricky. You need to hold the grater tightly so that it doesn't slip. And you go right around, and you don't want to go into the white of the orange, otherwise it's going to become bitter. As you pierce the skin of the orange, you can get the nice citrusy smell. That's the oils in the skin that gets exposed when the plant cells are breaking. Right. So if I then lift it off, my grater is sort of clean, and then I've got my zest on here, which I can then add into my mixture when I need it. So there is my zest. My next step is now to whisk my eggs, my sugar and my oil together. We're going to do it with an electric whisk. If you do not have an electric whisk, you can use a hand whisk. I've got my eggs. Going to break my eggs into my mixing bowl. Just 1, 2 eggs. I'm going to add 120 milliliters of oil, and I'm going to add my brown sugar. going to whisk it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Right, I'm happy with that. Don't lift the electric beater out of the mixture when it's still going, otherwise you will have sugar and egg all over the classroom. So that's all sorted. To remove the blade, you press the top and it will come out. You are now going to sieve in your flour. It is self-raising flour. Self-raising flour has baking powder in it, which is going to help my cakes to rise. But by sifting it, we also incorporate air. As the flour, as it falls down, it captures some air. Okay, I am now going to add the 1.5 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Bicarbonate of soda is also a raising agent. It's going to help to create carbon dioxide when it gets into contact with the heat. Also going, and moisture. I'm also going to add my mixed spice. That's 3 teaspoons, which is 15 milliliters. I'm going to use my wooden spoon and I'm just going to mix it through. I'm going to incorporate it. Don't beat it, just mixing it, because if you beat it, you will create too much gluten, which gives the structure to our baked products. And if I've got too much gluten, my cakes are going to become too dense. We want them to be fluffy. So all the flour is almost incorporated. All that's left now is to add my raisins or sultanas and the zest and our carrots. So there goes my sultanas. You can use a different fruit. I mean, you will change the recipe slightly, but you can add cranberries or something like that. It's my zest. And then last but not least, I'm adding my carrots. Okay, going to mix it through. Want it all to be really well mixed. And that's where we're now going to start using a spatula. Just scrape that off. Now we are ready to put them into into our muffin cases. So we're going to scoop. Okay, that's well mixed. It's now ready to go into our muffin cases. I've got some muffin cases here. Probably going to need a few more. There we go. Don't want to overfill them. What I'm going to do is I am going to use 2 tablespoons, and I am going to scoop just a tablespoon of mixture in there. Oops. Try not to mess all over the baking tray, over the muffin tray, otherwise it's going to burn in the oven. Probably going to get 12 out, I think. We'll have a look and see. You want the same amount of mixture in all of them, otherwise your cakes will cook unevenly. Like I said, you could have put this in a cake tin and baked it, but it will take a bit longer. I've messed on there, so that I need to clean up. Take that off there. I'm going to add 3 more. Okay, let's finish those. Probably put a teensy bit more there. It's really good to have a spatula because you can really clean out your bowl nicely. Okay. So look, that one can get a bit more. So this is now ready to go in the oven. Make sure that you scrape out your bowl really well, because then it would be easier to wash up as well. Let's put that one in there. So they're now going to go into the oven for about 20 minutes to half an hour, and then we will check